friends. Hope you're doing well. So we are entering the end of November, and with that, it is time to decide on my 2024 Stupid Arbitrary goals. So if you're new here, every single year, for the last 10 or so years, I make a list of stupid arbitrary goals to try to accomplish. Like, they're meant to be challenging and they're meant to be relative to my life, obviously, but yeah, it's just a weird, fun thing I do, and I encourage you to get involved as well. And so every year I try to make, a list of 10 goals. I found 10 is like a really good number to challenge myself, to try to be the best version of myself possible. And these are the goals for this year. And if you look back on my old videos, you can see the progress from last year. I think these goals that I set in 2023 were really good goals. But I realized some of them were a little too challenging, so I added some new mechanics to my list, and I keep everything on a spreadsheet because I'm a giant nerd, and you can see, like, it's even got like like days left, so it's like it's built already. I've got this all built. So anyway, without further ado, getting on to the list of goals. Once again, there is 10 goals, but I've added what I call cluster goals, which is something I think I tried this year for the first time, where it's 2 goals together, where, like, if I do less of one, I could do more of the other and still count it as 100%. And then this year I'm adding a new mechanic where I'm adding bonus goals, so it's still the same cluster goals, but I'm adding like an extra third or fourth goal onto the list, and making it really tough. But so instead of the cluster goal being like, if it's 2 goals, it'll be 3 goals, but it still counts it out of 2, if that makes sense. And we'll get to the examples here. But anyway, so this year the first goal is 200 hours of hockey. In the last couple years, I've done hockey practice or like off-ice practice, and it's like, but what's the point of that goal? It's like to get better at hockey, but it's like, okay, well, playing hockey would get you better at hockey too. So instead of, I'm doing away with like off-ice practice or hockey practice in general, and it's just like 200 hours of hockey. Like, have fun, turn your brain off, do something physical that you can't possibly really monetize, although I have a YouTube channel for it, so technically I have tried to monetize it, but that's neither here nor there. It's something I do just kind of for fun and to physical health. So 200 hours of it, that's just kind of 4 hours a week, but most weeks I skate 2 or 3 times for an hour each. So I think that goal, it's a good number, but it's not super challenging, because most weeks I skate twice during the season and then once off season, so I'll still have to make up that time with practice or finding other times to skate on the ice, which would be good for my mental health as well as my physical health. Once again, this year we have a bike goal, which is ride 2,460 miles, which is the shortest distance to ride across the continental United States. This year that was the goal, and we're at the end of November, and I'm at like 970 miles, so I'm definitely not going to make that goal this year, but I am going to end up doing a lot more than I did last year, which in 2022 I rode 1,000 miles, so it's still an improvement. But next year we're going for the head, baby. Once again, so this year in 2023 I set some functional training goals. I'm doing that again this year, but this will be the first one where I'm including the bonus goal to it. And the reason why is because in 2023 I had 4 goals listed, and I realized that, like, as a cluster I would have to work an hour plus every single day between those 4 goals to get like, my day's worth. And so you think I had a bike goal, and the daily bike goal is like 6 miles, and then I had a hockey practice goal which was like 15 minutes. It's like, okay, well, 6 miles that's definitely 2 hours. And then you start to add all the other stuff, and it's like, okay, this is maybe not sustainable. So this year for the functional goals, it's still 4, but one of them is a bonus goal. So for this year, I've got 100 hours of carrying, loaded carries, and or rucking, which is where you just get a heavy backpack and go for a walk. So that shouldn't be that hard. I take my dog Bear for walks every day, usually twice for a half hour. So like if I just put on the backpack for those walks, that's that goal, and then some. 100 hours of club swinging, which is clubs, maces. I'm also including rope. You can swing rope. It's like not jump roping. It's like jump roping without jumping. It's really interesting. If you just look up, I think it's called rope swinging or rope flow. It looks really cool. So I'm including that in there. 100 hours of mobility work and stretching, which was another goal this year that I haven't been focusing enough on, and I could tell like as I'm getting older, like more things are getting more stiff, so I need to be a little more cognizant of doing the mobility work, and I notice how much better I feel when I do it. And then finally, the bonus goal is 200 hours of traditional workouts, which for that I am including riding bikes on it, but also like lifting weights, doing dumbbell stuff when we go to the apartment gym, getting on the treadmill, that stuff is included, but I am not including the other 3. So it's like if I'm stretching, doing mobility work, that doesn't count. If I'm swinging clubs, that doesn't count. And if I'm doing carries or rucking and that stuff, that doesn't count either. So it's a bonus goal. So if I only do 5 hours of it, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, back to the main goals. Let's see here. The next one is, once again, we have an Apple Watch goal, which this is another cluster goal. It's 3.5 million steps and 500,000 active calories tracked by the Apple Watch. And so if I get less steps, I can burn more calories, and that's probably going to be the way it ends up happening, because most days I average between like 5,000 and 6,000 steps, which I need to be taking more steps, because for 3.5 million, I think I need to be getting around 10,000 a day. So that'll be a tough goal. 500,000 active calories is a little easier to get to, and this year I might actually get that goal. This year the goal was 3 million steps though, so I think I'll get that goal by active calories. It's going to be a close one, but it's going to come down to the wire. We'll see how it goes. Next goal, read 50 books. I don't know if I've actually accomplished that goal before, but it has been a goal for a lot of years, and I often end up reading a lot more books because of it. I think this year I've read, I think I have 29 at this point, somewhere in there. So doing pretty good, but I don't think I'll hit 50 books, because I would have to read, like 20 in the next 45 days or so. Then we have a new goal this next year in 2024 is move 3.5 million pounds with kettlebells. And so kind of how I arrived at that number was I reverse engineered it. I said, okay, like what's a good benchmark? And it's like doing 200 reps with a 53-pound kettlebell. So I was like, okay, if I was doing that 6 times a week, okay, what does that add up to? And then I rounded up, because it was like 3.1 million pounds, something like that. And I was like, okay, round up. And so I'm not doing a lot of stuff with the 53-pound kettlebell. Like I could do some stuff, but if I did it 6 days a week, I'd probably, wreck myself. So it's built in for that logarithmic sort of, I could start with lower weights, doing more reps, and then kind of build to doing heavier weight and the same amount of reps, or maybe a little less reps. So I'm pretty excited about that goal, because I like doing stuff with kettlebells, and I need to motivate myself to do more. So this one, because this year I had kettlebells under the functional training, and it was like doing ballistics, and I like my back was hurting me, and it just didn't work. Because I think it was probably 4 or 5 months into the year before I could like actually start training with kettlebells, and by that point, like the goal was so far out of reach that it wasn't motivating me. That there's a scientific, it's like a graph, and it says like things should be challenging. There's like if it's too easy, you're not interested. If it's too hard, you're not interested. So you gotta find that like sweet spot. And I think 3.5 million is about right. The next goal is so combining a couple goals into one is, so this is experiences and adventures. So for this, I am combining like date nights, doing new and unique things, and taking my dog Bear on park adventures, and we're trying to do 200 of those three things. And so if we do a unique experience that is also a date, that counts as 2. So that's that one. And there's a bonus one on that, which is intimacy time. We'll leave it at that. Pay down debt, make videos, market myself. This was a goal this year, but also it was like get my retirement fund. But because I've got a lot of debt, because I have a mental health problem, realistically, where I just keep buying camera gear because I'm like, I have imposter syndrome. Better gear will make me better. And so like as soon as I see, like a new gear, this will make me better, and I'll go buy it. And oftentimes I'll buy it on credit cards, which is not a good idea. And so, I've been holding debt. I've been on the debt treadmill for a long time. And during the pandemic, that really, I had an ATL on that. And subsequently, my credit card bill went to an all-time high. I'm working on paying that down. So this year, in 2024, I'm making retirement as a bonus to this goal. But the focus is going to be on paying down debt, making more videos, because YouTube videos, I actually get a couple $100 a month to spread out between my, couple YouTube channels. So it's like, okay, that seems to be the most viable path for me to bring in more income, is to make videos, because I will get better at video making, which is my main job, but also have more stuff on the internet, which could bring in some more ad revenue, and then market myself. So obviously, like, do a better job selling myself, trying to get those big jobs, those new jobs, better jobs. The next goal is another new one. I started playing Warhammer 40,000. Look at this. Look at this guy. Isn't it neat? Look at it. I think it's too close. Yeah. So it's just my favorite thing to do, to kind of just turn my brain off. And so I'm kind of trying to spend 200 hours of Warhammer time, which is, building and painting the models, as well as playing games of Warhammer. So that's a good one. And then last but not least, I am combining 2 goals that have been frequent goals, which into just one, like, creation goal, like making stuff. And that is creating 500 pieces of video content, which has been my white whale goal for a couple years in a row now. And or 50,000 photos, which is another white whale goal. So together, though, that's gonna be tough. But I think I talked with my girlfriend about this. I was like, if I make a bunch of videos in December and don't release them until 2024, like, should those count for the new goal? And we're like, yes. So we're just counting those as like when posted. So I'm giving myself that extra month on the video goals, and I'm allowing shorts to count towards that 500 video count. And so when you think that I've got essentially like 5, 6, I have like 6 YouTube channels that I'm like 3 of them I'm actually trying on. If you think 3 channels and you make, 1 or 2 shorts a week, 52 weeks, let's say you make 2 shorts for 3 channels, 52 weeks, that's more than half of it right there. So nothing super difficult. That's a little more than a video a day. Totally doable. If you think about it, because like some of them are just like, I see some Warhammer channels that are super popular, and it's just like them talking about like, like why you want to take these guys. These guys are eradicators, and like, And so I have a bunch of ideas doing, battle reports, which are just kind of like gameplay videos. You could also do kind of lore videos. There's so many things you could do. But I'm excited. I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to like, punch this year in the teeth and get excited. So that brings the question of, are you setting goals for next year? And if not, why not? Try and set, even just 2 or 3 goals of things that you can just admit are like, this is a stupid arbitrary goal, but I'm gonna have fun with it. And see if it doesn't, make your life better. I feel like it gives me something that I can look at on those days when I'm just like lost, just scrolling. And I'm like, I should be doing something. And then I could just look at my list of stupid arbitrary goals and be like, let's pick one of these 10 things to go after. And then I go and I, go after that thing for a while. And I tend to feel a lot better than if I had just sat and scrolled for an hour or 2 hours, or just, that lost time. You're just, feels like you're just time traveling. You don't remember most of the reels you see. And then it's just an hour later. You snap out of it and you're like, well, I just did like the worst version of time traveling. So I don't want to do that. This next year, I want to, have a good year. And so I think this next year, and I say this every year, but I'm always hopeful. I'm like, this next year could be the best year, and I'm gonna make it so. And one thing I thought about, there's this YouTuber named Bo Miles, and if you haven't watched his videos, you need to watch his videos. They're amazing. But he has one video that it's a mile an hour is what it's called, and so he runs a marathon throughout the course of a day, where every hour he runs a mile. With the first hour he runs 3, so that way it makes the 26 miles or whatever, and then the rest of the time he spends just working on a project, and doing stuff like he's been meaning to do, or whatever. And so I think I'm gonna try that. I don't know if I'm gonna go the full marathon, the 26. I don't think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be on the bike, and instead of doing a marathon, it might be 50 miles or 100 miles, which are two very common like distance bike goals. They call it 100 miles a century ride, and 50 miles obviously a half century, which is equivalent to a half marathon or a full marathon basically. And then spend the rest of the day working on these other 9 goals, and or doing stuff that is stuff I've been meaning to do around the apartment. And I think I'm gonna do that January 1st and just really start the year off with like a punch in the teeth. And I think that could be good. I think that would be, because imagine like you do day 1 and you're already like 4% in. Like that'd be bonkers to have a 4% day, which I think my goal, not my goal, but my best day, I think this year I had like a 1.5 or almost 2% day. So for me to hit a 4 or 5% day would be unhinged and amazing, and would give me a huge boost for the year. So anyway, that is the stupid arbitrary goals for 2024. That's where I'm going after. Kind of just more of the same this year, because I feel like my life's on a pretty good trajectory. Like I feel like these goals I'm setting for myself are like relevant, and they're meaningful, and they're impactful in my life. Either they gas me up to do stuff, they're good for my health, or they're good for my financial health and my career and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going for. So that said, set some goals, do some stuff for you, and look at my Warhammer, guys. Look at this guy. This guy's an aggressor. He's pretty cool. Oh my god, I'm blocking it. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's so cool. These guys, I don't know. I love Warhammer. I can't believe I avoided its siren call for so long. It's like my favorite. It's my best let's go after it with a machete and let's just take the year down. You know what I'm saying? It could be a good year. It could be our best year. It's gonna be. We're gonna manifest it. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that. Some dork. The people with the loud cars. I don't get it. Neither here nor there. So anyway, yeah, set some goals and tell me what they are, and let's hold each other accountable. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And until next time, I messed that up, but that's okay. Go set some goals.